It's pretty easy to lose readers. Just make them stop emotionally investing in your character. I say that as a joke, but really, we do it unintentionally, and it's so frustrating because it happens even when a character is technically kind or moral or relatable or, like objectively good. The fact is, readers don't connect to characters just because they're nice. Those are, I think, the most boring characters. Readers connect with characters because they feel emotionally engaged by them. They don't need characters to be admirable. They need them to be emotionally understandable. In the past, when I was first starting out, I got feedback like I just didn't connect with the character or I just didn't really care what happened to them. And honestly, I have experienced that as a reader. In fact, I just put down a book last night for that very reason. I just didn't care enough to keep reading. And life is too short, and there are too many great books for me to waste time on reading something I am just not invested in. That almost always comes down to the characters. Now, you might think that the problem is the character is too flawed, but usually that's not the case. It's not that they need to be softened. In my experience, the issue in this scenario of readers disengaging is that they actually can't feel enough emotional connection or movement or like vulnerability or humanity underneath the surface of a character. So they have nothing to connect to. And once you understand the distinction here, the problem is actually not that hard to fix. Let's look at an example of an emotionally distant character. Claire walked into the meeting and immediately noticed the presentation errors on the screen. This should have been caught earlier, she said. She corrected the slides herself while everyone watched silently. Okay, now technically Claire isn't wrong, right? She's competent. Maybe there are errors. She's responsible. She's the boss. Maybe her observation and actions are actually justified. But the problem is the emotion or lack of emotion. She's distant, and the reader experiences Claire as just critical and distant, and they don't care. We don't see any vulnerability in her. There's no emotional access. There's no friction underneath her competence or what she's doing and why she's doing it. Now let's look at a revised version. Claire spotted the errors on the screen and felt her stomach drop. Of course, this would happen today. Her team had already survived 2 rounds of layoffs, and morale was hanging together by threads and caffeine. Okay, she said, forcing calm into her voice as she moved toward the laptop. Let's fix it before the clients log in. She corrected the slides herself while trying not to think about the fact that everyone in the room looked exhausted and every eye was trained on her, silently watching. Okay, first, as always, the passage is a lot longer, right? Because to create emotion, to create sensory details, whatever it is, we need to use language and a lot more than we think. So it's longer. Claire feels completely different here, though. She's still competent, she's controlled, she's demanding, but because of the details added into the passage, hopefully the reader is feeling the pressure and the emotional awareness and her concern and her humanity. The problem wasn't ever that she wasn't likable, it's that there was no emotional access to her. We didn't understand what was under the surface. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Melissa Bourbon. I've written more than 35 novels across mystery and magical fiction. There are a lot of ways writers get off track. One of the big ones I've seen over the years is misunderstanding why we lose readers, why they disengage from our stories. We hear things like, the character is unlikable, and immediately we panic because we don't really know what that means or how to fix it. And suddenly we're trying to make our characters sweeter, or soften the dialogue, or take away the flaws, or make everyone nicer. But some of the most beloved characters in fiction, the ones we all know about, are kind of difficult. Think about Tony Stark in Iron Man, Dr. House in House, Fleabag in Fleabag, Katniss Everdeen in The Hunger Games, Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, Wednesday Addams, Sherlock Holmes in pretty much every version of Sherlock Holmes. These people are not warm and friendly and totally agreeable. A lot of them are defensive or abrasive or emotionally guarded, selfish at times, sarcastic, controlling. Despite all of that, readers and viewers are invested in them and they're memorable. Because underneath those rough edges, we still feel their vulnerability, their loneliness, their fear, their longing, the emotional cost. Ultimately, we feel their humanity. That is what creates connection, not perfection. Never perfection. Readers do not need characters to be perfect. In fact, we really don't want them to be perfect. Perfect people are usually not that interesting. What readers need is to feel emotionally connected to characters, and that means we have complexity. How do we recognize the problem in our writing? Okay, well, when a character is unlikable, the reader stops leaning towards them emotionally, right? There's nothing to connect with. Once that happens, the story starts losing momentum. That can manifest in a lot of different ways. A character maybe is constantly judging other people. Maybe they react without emotional self awareness, or they feel emotionally closed off, or scenes revolve entirely around their opinions or frustrations, or maybe they don't reveal their vulnerability or their uncertainty or their humor or their warmth or their internal conflict or whatever it is. In your own writing, maybe the character sounds harsher on the page than you intended. Or maybe your beta readers are describing them as cold and you keep trying to soften the dialogue, or the character feels emotionally exhausting after a couple of chapters. Pretty often, the deeper issue is not a morality issue, it's an imbalance. The reader is experiencing too much friction, but what is missing, again, is that humanity underneath it. It's perfection or it's friction, but lacking humanity. Here's the misdiagnosis. This is where I think writers often go wrong. Our instinct is to think, oh, I need to make this character nicer. But niceness is not what creates reader connection. Again, perfect people, not very exciting. Emotional engagement creates reader connection. And these are very different things, niceness versus emotional connection. I've been building my writing studio, something I've dreamed about for a really long time. We've moved a lot over the years, but we are finally settled and not moving anymore. Yay. We love our house. We love our neighborhood. We love our town. We are staying put. So we finally decided to bite the bullet and put up a shed, and we're converting it into a writing/art studio for me. When I was thinking about this topic, I realized that this is a perfect metaphor for creating characters that we can connect with. When you first look at the framing inside a building, it's pretty harsh, right? Raw wood, exposed beams, lots of sharp angles, lots of dust and dirt. It's not cozy. It's not fun to be in. It's not interesting. It has no personality. That structure, though, is what eventually allows for warmth to exist inside that space. It's the foundation for everything that's going to follow. And our characters are really similar. Readers can absolutely handle rough edges and sarcasm and flaws and defensiveness and stubbornness and even too much niceness. But what matters most is whether they can feel the emotional structure underneath those behaviors. What is the reason for these emotions? What subtext exists? What are they feeling that we've also felt or experienced? If all readers experience is the surface without understanding what's underneath, then we have emotional distance. I don't know if that's a good metaphor, but that's what I came up with. So, what is actually causing the problem? Most unlikable characters, in my experience, are missing one thing, and that is visible humanity. And that is shown through vulnerability, through emotional awareness, through internal conflict, tenderness, longing, insecurity, humor, emotional cost. All of those things show us humanity. And again, and again, and again, readers don't connect because characters are perfect. They connect because characters feel emotionally alive and relatable. We can relate to the emotions they're experiencing. So a character can be angry or blunt or controlling or emotionally guarded and very compelling. I think the most iconic characters in storytelling are exactly like this. Severus Snape in Harry Potter, Beth Dutton in Yellowstone, so much not to like, and yet she's riveting. Loki in the Marvel films, Elsa in Frozen, even someone like Mr. Darcy in Pride and Prejudice, right? Unlikable, brooding, and yet we love him. So these characters create friction, sometimes a lot of friction. But readers are emotionally invested because we can feel. We understand what wounded them, what they're protecting, what they fear, what they desperately want underneath their behavior. And that makes all the difference. That is what creates complexity, and complexity creates investment. Let's look at why we create this problem in the first place. I think writers create this problem accidentally because they're trying so hard to make their characters strong or likable. I am definitely guilty of that, especially with female characters. I think we're often afraid that vulnerability is going to appear like weakness, or uncertainty is going to feel passive, or that softness will reduce their authority. We want to break stereotypes so the character becomes emotionally armored like all of the time. But there's no underlying foundation for why they're armored. We just see them as distant or cold. And again, we've got nothing to connect to. People, we are complex. We have a lot of emotions. Even super competent people have moments of awkwardness or tenderness or humor or insecurity or contradiction or emotional fatigue, all of those things, because those are human experiences and emotions. And that texture, those layers, is what creates humanity. Okay, I have another example, another metaphor for you. Like I mentioned earlier, we've moved a bunch of times. My husband had a serious case of wanderlust throughout the years. One thing I learned really quickly when I was constantly rebuilding my life in different cities and states is that people connect fastest through moments of humanity. So it's not through presenting myself in a perfected way, right? Look at my hair today, a little bit crazy, but you get what you get, right? Not through polished, competence all the time. I connected with people, and people connected with me through realness. The moments people actually remember are when you were overwhelmed, when you laugh at disaster, when your hair is crazy, when something small reveals vulnerability. That is real life. That is real connection. It's true in real life and it's true in fiction too. So readers emotionally attach through what they can recognize and what they can relate to. Okay, now if you've experienced this in your own writing, it is okay. I've done it too. Everything I talk about in my videos are things I have faced. We fail forward, right? Or we learn from our mistakes, or whatever other cliche or idiom makes sense. Regardless, it is all very fixable. Here are a few techniques that I use to help add connection, to help my readers connect with my characters. The first is to add a humanizing sort of contradiction. If a character feels emotionally harsh or maybe not accessible, add an unexpected layer of humanity. The intimidating boss maybe waters dying plants. The sarcastic character maybe secretly rehearses conversations ahead of time. I do that. The emotionally distant mother saves every childhood drawing. The abrasive detective maybe stops to help a stray dog. So these types of things are going to add dimensionality. I've written a lot of mysteries, and one of the things I'm always trying to do is make even my villains feel human. So the murderer who feeds the stray cat, the woman who covers up a crime while still taking casseroles to her elderly neighbor, the con artist who genuinely loves his daughter. Real people are layered, and very few people walk around believing they're the villain in their own story, right? We are the heroes in our own story. The dimensionality matters because readers emotionally disengage when characters start feeling like cartoons instead of real people. Okay, so how do you do this? Ask yourself about your character. What private softness exists underneath the defense mechanism? That question can help you transform a character. Okay, technique 2, show the emotional cost. A lot of unlikable characters feel emotionally flat because their behavior feels kind of consequence free. They criticize, they lash out, they withdraw, they lose control, but readers don't feel at all what it costs them internally, like what Claire was going through inside when she was fixing the errors on the screen, right? There was a reason behind it. What you want to do is show your character's hesitation or some regret or their loneliness or their exhaustion or their self-awareness or the emotions that they're suppressing. Even small moments can create connection. So you got to just thread those things in. The third technique is to let the character notice other people. And I think this one is pretty huge. Readers emotionally disconnect when characters seem emotionally like self-contained, selfish, self-centered. They don't seem to care or even think about other people. So what can you do? Well, let the character observe someone else's discomfort, someone's exhaustion. Observe nervous habits that other people have, emotional reactions. You do this through close point of view or deep point of view, vulnerabilities they observe, because attention creates empathy and empathy creates reader connection. So, if your character feels unlikable, stop focusing only on niceness. Increase emotional access. Add vulnerability and contradiction. Reveal emotional cost. Let readers feel the humanity underneath the defense mechanisms. Readers do not connect most deeply to perfection. They probably run from it. They connect to emotional truth, to the layers that we have, to the complexity. The goal is not to make every character pleasant. The goal is to make them emotionally engaging, and readers are going to follow difficult characters. We've seen that. Messy characters, sharp characters, complicated characters, as long as they can still feel the human being underneath the behavior. When we learned the history of Snape and Lily Potter, it was like, oh my God, we understood so much, right? And that painted him in a completely different way. And we understood him so much more. And he was not just a caricature. Okay, if this kind of craft analysis helps you understand your own writing a little bit more clearly, and I really hope it does, please subscribe to Bourbon and Books. Everything I talk about in my videos is something I have dealt with myself or gone through myself, and also things I see in the manuscripts that I edit. This series is all about diagnosing the real problems underneath the page so that all revision becomes clearer and more intentional, and you can make your story the best it can possibly be. Once readers emotionally connect to your characters, the next challenge is making sure the story itself keeps building momentum. Even emotionally compelling characters can lose readers' attention if scenes stop creating tension and movement. Take a look at the next video to learn more about that. Remember, small moments shape the reading experience. I will see you next time, hopefully with better hair.